These YouTuber moments are so crazy they'll literally make your heart race. And the truth about Tom and Jerry, yeah, once you hear it, you'll be like, hold up, what? Ever wondered why lionesses always carry their cubs by the neck? And here's the weird part. Do the babies actually feel pain when that happens? Things are about to get wild, so don't skip because every fact gets crazier than the last. Watch till the end if you want to see the most shocking one of all. And hey, if you're enjoying the video, smash that like button and subscribe before you forget. This is one of the most dangerous knives ever created. If this thing gets stabbed into someone, the damage would be absolutely brutal. It's called the Wasp Injector Knife, and it was originally designed for divers in case a shark attacks them underwater. The idea was simple. Stab the shark, press the trigger, and the knife releases a powerful blast of compressed CO2 gas to scare it off instantly. That's why the blade has a small hole in it. The CO2 is stored inside a cartridge attached to the handle. Once the knife penetrates the target and the button is pressed, the gas shoots out with nearly 1,000 psi of pressure, causing devastating internal damage in seconds. Smallest tomato. Guys, tomatoes are used in almost every dish. Normally, tomatoes come in all kinds of sizes, big and small. But have you ever seen the world's tiniest tomato? Well, these tiny tomatoes you're looking at are actually some of the smallest tomatoes in the world. At first glance, they look more like little red berries, but they are 100% real tomatoes. They're called spoon tomatoes. Their size is less than 1 inch, almost as small as a berry. In fact, they're called spoon tomatoes because they're so tiny that they can easily fit inside a spoon. These tomatoes are grown in the Netherlands. Even though they look super small, you won't believe that they're actually more juicy, flavorful, and sweeter than regular tomatoes. And not only that, they're also much more expensive than normal tomatoes. Sure, you probably can't make a huge pot of curry with them, but they're so tiny and cute that anyone who sees them would want to buy them instantly. Honestly, there probably isn't a cuter vegetable in the world than this. New Zealand is also home to the Royal One opal. It was found by an Australian miner called Bobby, who was actually 1 day away from retirement when he found it. What's even crazier is that Bobby found it under a foot of dirt at the bottom of the same mine where he'd been working for his whole career. Now, if I found an opal that size, the first thing I'd do is get it appraised and rake in my millions. But Bobby actually kept it hidden for 14 years before finally revealing it to jeweler Catherine Jeter to find a suitable seller. It's 306 carats and estimated to be worth around $3 million. We all grew up watching the endless rivalry between Tom and Jerry. Well, what if I told you their fights were actually all an act? One popular fan theory says that Tom and Jerry are secretly best friends. Tom only pretends to chase and hate Jerry, so his owner thinks he's doing his job. Because if the owner ever realized Tom was useless, she'd replace him with a real hunting cat that would actually kill Jerry. So according to this theory, every chase, every fight, and every prank is actually Tom protecting Jerry from a much bigger danger. If you have a cat at home, you probably know that sometimes they can get skin allergies and need medicine to recover. But did you know that cats can actually be allergic to humans too? Yeah, it sounds pretty weird, but it's completely real. Some cats are sensitive to things humans carry, like dead skin cells, perfume, dust, or certain chemicals. When they get too close to a person, they can start feeling itchy, uncomfortable, or even sick, and sometimes they need treatment from a vet. And here's the crazy part. It's not just humans who can be allergic to animals. Some animals can be allergic to humans too. Have you ever wondered why lionesses always pick up their cubs by the neck? And does it hurt them when they do that? There's actually a popular myth that there's some kind of shutdown button on the back of a cub's neck that makes their body completely switch off when pressed, but that's not true. In reality, both lion and cat kittens have a natural reflex in the scruff of their neck that makes them go still and calm when gently carried by their mother. This isn't a deactivation mode. It's just a survival instinct that helps the mother move her babies safely from one place to another without them struggling or getting injured. And no, it doesn't cause them pain when done correctly by their mother. MrBeast makes some of the craziest and most entertaining videos on the internet. But did you know one of his biggest giveaway ideas almost turned into a complete disaster? Back in 2022, Jimmy reportedly visited a local grocery store and told the management that he would return the next day and pay for every customer's groceries. Basically, anyone who came to the store would get everything for free. The store employees got so excited that they started telling their friends, families, and everyone around town. Word spread insanely fast, and people were even saying that if you subscribed to MrBeast, you could get free groceries. By the next morning, thousands of people had shown up ready to shop. Carts were overflowing with snacks, drinks, electronics, and basically anything people could grab. But then everything went wrong. The entire event quickly became a disaster, and Mr. Beast's team decided to cancel the plan before it even started. Workers had to tell the massive crowd that Jimmy wouldn't be coming because of security concerns.
Mr. Beast is not coming today due to security issues.
People were furious. After hearing the news, many customers abandoned their fully loaded shopping carts, threw items around the store, and stormed out angry. What was supposed to become one of Mr. Beast's biggest feel-good giveaway videos ended up getting completely canceled before it could even happen.
People often say that steel-toe shoes are actually more dangerous than regular shoes. Many believe that if a heavy object falls on your foot, the steel cap inside the shoe can snap down and cut off your toes. To test this myth, the team from Mythbusters conducted an experiment. They bought several pairs of safety boots in different sizes, built a special setup to drop heavy weights, and used a fake human foot for testing. First, they dropped a 75-pound weight from a height of 3 feet. The result? The boot wasn't damaged, and the toes inside were completely fine. Next, they increased the weight to 400 pounds. This time, the fake foot suffered a small fracture, but the toes still were not cut off. Finally, they dropped the same 400-pound weight from 6 feet high. The steel toe cap was pushed down hard, and the big toe was seriously injured, but it still wasn't severed. Experts also explained that if the person had been wearing regular shoes instead, the toe would have been completely crushed. So the experiment proved that steel toe boots do not cut off your toes. In fact, during heavy impacts, they are much safer than normal shoes. This is a very unusual game where players have a metal chain attached to their noses, and both competitors have to pull against each other using force. The player who lasts longer and can handle the pain wins the game. And believe it or not, this game has even been featured in the Olympic Games. It's called the nose pull game. So, who would you want to play this game with? Be sure to leave a comment and let us know. If you said the latter, good news. Some people might see the appeal of this futuristic staircase, but although it's definitely super cool to look at, it's a total death trap. With jumbled up steps and no safety rail on the open side, imagine trying to descend these things in a hurry in the dark, drunk, or all three. If you have stairs in your home, would you prefer them to be a convenient way to access another floor or a grueling test of your physical abilities? They look like an embarrassing death waiting to happen, but it isn't the only sadistic piece of interior design that'll torture anyone who steps inside your house. Though cars are our preferred mode of transport nowadays, they're only a relatively recent invention. Back in 1886, German engineer and Mercedes-Benz co-founder Carl Benz brought the first iteration of the vehicle to the market, but it was significantly less powerful than a modern Mercedes. The 1886 Benz Patent motor wagon had 3 wheels, was powered by light petroleum and water, and hit top speeds of 10 miles per hour. Cars have come a long way since, and in 2019, the Bugatti Chiron became the world's fastest road car by hitting the lightning-fast speed of 304 miles per hour. It made Benz's OG motor car look like a toy. But speed isn't the only way that cars have advanced into the future. In 2020, the ride-sharing company Waymo introduced self-driving robotaxis in some cities across the USA. These cars effortlessly navigate the streets, dodging pedestrians and other vehicles using a technology called LiDAR, which creates 3D models of the environment using lasers. Now, Waymos only work in geo-fenced areas that have been fully mapped by the company, and you can't buy a totally self-driving car just yet. However, some smart cars like Tesla have autopilot features where the vehicle can maneuver traffic and even park by itself. The autonomous driving technology isn't as advanced as Waymo's, so the law currently requires the driver to remain in the driver's seat in case something goes wrong, and this guy is actually breaking the law. But with this tech developing so quickly, it's impossible to tell what cars are going to be like in 10 years, let alone another 100. So let that fuel your imagination about the future of road trips. The technology boom hasn't just helped us traverse roads, it also helped us explore. Bread is one of those food items that almost every household uses for breakfast. A man living in England bought a loaf of bread from a grocery store, but when he opened it to eat, he discovered a dead mouse stuck on top of the bread. What makes it even more disturbing is that the mouse had apparently been baked right along with the loaf, and parts of it were clearly visible. Honestly, the whole scene was so disgusting that after seeing something like this, I'd probably never want to eat bread for breakfast again. It's seriously unbelievable. Finding a scratch or a bump on your parked car is a real bummer. But one Libyan man had an even bigger shock when he discovered this after seeking shelter from shelling in Benghazi in 2014. Instead of exploding on impact, a live mortar shell had somehow punched a hole in the bodywork of this vehicle. before becoming wedged in the rubber tire. Fawaz Qasim Qasis recalled how he initially ran from the scene, but couldn't resist returning a few days later to snap a risky photo of the unbelievable feat. At the time, the unexploded shell was left wedged in the car, as it was too dangerous to attempt to remove it in case it became unexploded. It's unknown if Feast ever managed to get his car back in one piece, but if there was any way for a car to go, getting a live bomb stuck in it is definitely one of the coolest. Many people think that the logo of the South Korean company Hyundai is simply the first letter of its name. In fact, the letter H symbolizes two people, a client and a representative of the company. Shaking hands, that's very thoughtful.